Meghan is an agent of poison. She is a person who has absolutely remorseless in her hatred if she doesn't decide that someone should be neutralized and destroyed. The Sussexes have moved on. They don't care two hoots whether he's frankly alive or dead anymore, and probably they prefer him to disappear. The palace played it appallingly at that stage and landed her with that dreadful situation where she did the Photoshop photograph, which was just a tragedy. Whenever they need money, whenever they need publicity to stoke their reputation, they'll drop another little bomb. I mean, we're still waiting, of course, for Meghan's own autobiography. That is the ultimate weapon she can deploy.
Hello, I'm Matt Wilkinson and welcome to our show, Royal Exclusive. With me today is biographer Tom Bower. Hi Tom, welcome.
Thank you.
Right, let's get started because we've got a lot to talk about. I want to get started on Thomas Markle. Now he's a man that we've both met, we've both spoken to, probably have certain thoughts and feelings about. What's your feelings towards Tom? He's almost it's his 80th birthday this week, almost forgot to say. He's turning 80. How do you feel about Tom? He's almost the forgotten man in the kind of royal row. We forget that there are two warring families here and that Thomas Markle is at the heart of one side.
Well, I feel intensely sorry for him. I mean, he is a very decent man, hard-working. He was a wonderful father. Meghan owes him such a lot, and she's treated him appallingly. She's treated him in a way which is just totally unwarranted. And there he is sitting in a rather shabby cabin in New Mexico, and he doesn't deserve what she's ladled out.
When I met Tom, as I say, I kind of felt a little bit sorry for him. It's his 80th birthday. Meghan's several hundred miles away. It would be quite an easy thing for her and Harry to either drive down or give him a call or send him a card. Do you think that could ever happen?
No, I mean, Meghan is completely unforgiving and Harry has behaved appallingly towards his father-in-law. And unfortunately, I think it's not just these phony photographs, but it's all to do with snobbery and everything else. You know, he is a retired man, he hasn't got much money, and Meghan is just famous for dumping people who don't suit her profile anymore. And I just feel as well that her mother poisoned the atmosphere, most unfairly as well, because Thomas was very good to her. And in the end, he's a great man, a good man, who is going to spend the rest of his life wondering why he has been treated so badly.
Well, you paint a picture of this in your book, Revenge, where you list many occasions where Meghan has, I think we call it ghosting someone, where Meghan, I think there was one incident you report in your wonderful book where when she was a child, she would give a silent treatment to one of her friends. She would almost turn her back on her until her friend decided that she would speak to her again. I mean, this is her behaviour. This is what she does, but this is her father.
It is her father, but she did the same to Harry and his family too. I mean, Meghan is an agent of poison. She actually is able to destroy relationships. And when she cultivates relationships, it's always for her own good, her own purpose. So she's not actually someone who's any generosity of spirit. And it is really one of the great sadnesses of this whole saga that in the end Meghan has destroyed the relationship between Harry and his family, just as she's destroyed the relationship with not only her father, but also her half-sister.
I think with Meghan, you know, I've been devil's advocate, but I feel a little bit of, I can understand possibly that she feels a bit betrayed by what happened with Thomas when he was, you know, making those paparazzi pictures just before her wedding. There was obviously a lot of stress going on with Meghan. She's spoken about, you know, the stress that she was going through before the wedding, and I don't think, you know, those photographs really, the stage photographs really helped. I mean, is Thomas maybe to blame for the fact that Meghan doesn't talk to him? Does he hold a little bit of the blame, maybe?
No, I don't think at all. I think what happened was in the run-up to the wedding, he was just abandoned, whereas Doria, her mother, got a lot of help from the palace on what to do, how to cope and everything. He was absolutely besieged by journalists once they found out where he was living, and no one came to help him. And even when he had his heart attack and wasn't able to get to the wedding, no one was there to help him. So I think that the palace behaved appallingly towards him, abandoned him, very much, I think, because Harry and Meghan themselves just weren't there to help him either. They just thought he was someone who could be ignored, and that was a great tragedy for him, and I think also for the royal family.
You talk about being ignored. I mean, Thomas, over the years, has spoken out, and I think that Meghan has kind of got frustrated at times. But that's all he has. You know, if his daughter's not talking to him, then that's all he has is to speak to the media and give his side of the story and try to get a message towards Meghan.
Well, yes, we've got to remember another thing about it. Meghan's mother deserted her when she was 2 years old. No one ever saw Meghan's mother at school in all her years, both at primary and at secondary school. So Thomas, working phenomenally hard as a lighting director, always made sure that he was at home then for Meghan, took her out at weekends, paid for her schooling, paid for all the things, including her union ticket, to become an actress. So suddenly, to be treated in that way, so ungratefully, so spitefully, just has completely shattered a man who in the end doted and worshipped his daughter. And he can't understand it. And he just thought that the letters and the things that Meghan publicised about what a terrible man he was completely unwarranted. And of course, that's the indication of Meghan. I mean, it's not just obviously her father. She did the same to the Queen. She did the same to Princess Kate and to William. She is a person who has absolutely remorseless in her hatred if she doesn't decide that someone should be neutralized and destroyed. And that is her strength and, of course, her weakness.
You paint that quite well in Revenge about the amount of effort that her father went, you know, as a single parent, you know, the amount of money, given a roof over her head, the support all the way through university. Thomas maybe feels now's the time. Now he's ill, and he is seriously ill. You know, we've both spoken to him, been out there and met the guy. He's not a very well man. Now is the time, as 80 years old, that he, you know, a parent would expect their successful daughter, but not only the successful daughter, but also his son-in-law. I mean, does Harry need to maybe reach out to Tom at some stage? Because he's never met him.
Never met him, but I think it's too late for all that. I mean, the Sussexes have moved on. They don't care two hoots whether he's frankly alive or dead anymore, and probably they prefer him to disappear. I mean, that's the problem with the Sussexes. They are only interested in themselves. All the talk about helping society and generosity towards the underdog is all just really puff for themselves. And you've got to judge the Sussexes by the way they've treated Thomas Markle, which is appallingly. They have no compassion for a man who deserves it. And unfortunately, it's going to get worse as he gets older and sicker. And even that was the most astonishing thing when he had his stroke. Meghan left her home in Montecito, but didn't go down to Mexico to see her father, but went to the site of a school shooting instead. It was just all, of course, for the cameras.
One thing that did jump out in the book Revenge, and I think it was with an interview with Tom, and obviously Doria is a black woman, Tom is a white man, and there was a discussion. Is this right? Before Meghan was born, there was Thomas said there was a discussion where people said, what colour would Meghan be? And that jumped out because that's a phrase or a discussion that has really come to hit the royal family in later years, you know, because Meghan mentioned it in an Oprah Winfrey interview. How damaging do you think that allegation is against the royal family of racism?
Oh, I think Meghan's allegation of racism, because it was basically completely untrue, caused huge damage for Britain's reputation, the royal family's reputation across the world, incalculable, and it still is there. I think that the way in which the Caribbean islands, Commonwealth countries, reacted, I think the way that African Commonwealth countries reacted was unbelievably negative. And of course it was completely and utterly untrue.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, the channel where we unpack the truth behind the headlines, challenge the negativity, and celebrate the courage of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. If you so wish to support us and keep our content going, please freely do so through Super Thanks. Today, we're dissecting the latest wave of venomous remarks from royal biographer Tom Bower. His claims about Meghan being an agent of poison aren't just baseless. They're a stark example of how the media weaponizes personal narratives to vilify her. So, let's dive into Bower's accusations. He claims Meghan destroys relationships and uses people for her own benefit. Really, Tom? Let's not forget that this is the same man who has built a career on tearing down Meghan and Harry with unverified claims and sensationalist commentary. His words aren't facts. They're opinions wrapped in venom. Their every move, every word, every glance is analysed, dissected, and often distorted. Why this enduring fascination? Perhaps it's the fairy tale narrative of a prince finding his princess. Whatever the reason, their journey has been one of immense scrutiny, often laced with unfair criticism and hurtful narratives. Yet, through it all, Harry and Meghan have remained steadfast in their love for each other and their commitment to making a positive impact on the world. They dare to challenge conventions, to use their platform for good, and to live life on their own terms. Instead of celebrating their individuality and their commitment to creating positive change, some choose to tear them down, to perpetuate harmful stereotypes, and to spread unfounded rumours. It's time to unpack these claims, to separate fact from fiction, and to celebrate the strength and resilience of a couple determined to write their own story. Tom Bower's recent pronouncements about Meghan Markle paint a picture of a woman driven by ambition, someone who married into the royal family with a calculated plan to further her own career. He accuses her of being manipulative and controlling, of creating discord within the family, and of ultimately driving a wedge between Harry and his loved ones. These claims, however, are not only deeply hurtful, but also demonstrably false. Bower's narrative relies heavily on anonymous sources, whispers from the shadows without any concrete evidence to support his claims.
What Bower fails to recognize, or perhaps chooses to ignore, is Meghan's genuine commitment to using her platform for good. His attacks are part of a larger pattern of negativity and hostility directed at Meghan since she first stepped onto the world stage as Prince Harry's partner.
One of the most persistent and hurtful narratives surrounding Meghan Markle is the portrayal of her relationship with her father, Thomas Markle. Bower and others like him paint a picture of a daughter who has callously discarded her father, ignoring his pleas for reconciliation and causing him immense pain. This narrative, however, ignores the very real pain and betrayal that Meghan has experienced at the hands of her own father.
Meghan has consistently expressed her love and concern for her father, but she has also made it clear that she will not be bullied or manipulated by his actions.
Section 4. Behind Palace Walls. Unravelling a Legacy of Royal Tensions. To fully grasp the complexities of Meghan and Harry's journey, it's essential to understand the historical context of the British royal family itself. This is not a picture-perfect fairy tale institution. It is an institution steeped in tradition, burdened by expectations, and often plagued by internal conflicts.
Harry's own life bears witness to this, having grown up in the shadow of his mother's tumultuous relationship with the press and the subsequent tragedy of her untimely death. Harry has spoken openly about the lack of support he received within the royal institution following his mother's passing, the emotional isolation he experienced, and the pressure to suppress his grief. Meghan's arrival challenged long-held beliefs and exposed the deep-seated prejudices that still lingered within the institution.
Section 5. The glare of the spotlight, double standards and media scrutiny. From the moment their relationship became public, Meghan Markle was subjected to a level of scrutiny and criticism that was both unprecedented and deeply unfair. The British tabloid press, known for its ruthless pursuit of sensational stories, seemed to relish in publishing negative and often fabricated stories about the Duchess.
These stories often played into racist and sexist stereotypes, painting Meghan as a demanding diva, a social climber, and a manipulative force within the royal family. What is perhaps most striking is the stark contrast in the way Meghan has been treated compared to other members of the royal family. While her every move has been dissected and criticised, other royals who have made similar choices, such as Princess Eugenie and Princess Beatrice, have largely escaped the same level of scrutiny. The constant barrage of negative press took a toll on both Meghan and Harry's mental health.
Section 6. A new chapter, embracing love, advocacy and freedom. Meghan and Harry's decision to step back from their roles as senior royals was a watershed moment, not just for the couple but for the monarchy itself. Their departure sent shockwaves around the world and sparked a much-needed conversation about race, privilege, and the role of the monarchy in the 21st century. Since relocating to California, Meghan and Harry have embraced their newfound freedom, using their platform to advocate for causes they are passionate about. They have partnered with organizations working to combat climate change, promote mental health awareness, and support veterans. Meghan and Harry's story is far from over. They have shown that it is possible to break free from the shackles of tradition, to challenge the status quo, and to use their voices to make a positive impact on the world. Thanks for tuning in to Meghan and Harry Tales. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, we can push back against the noise and amplify the truth. See you next time.